brain is all full, but he hears himself say, yeah, I would go to Reno with you. So I should back this up. Maria has inserted herself into James's life and apartment. She's kind of trying to make him have conversations about gender that he does not want to have. But at the same time, they're both like kind of like, I feel like I want to connect with you and like have you like help me with my shit, but neither of them has any idea how to make that happen. And so they keep having really uncomfortable conversations that go nowhere. And Maria has just disclosed that she has a couple $100s worth of heroin in a sock in the glove box of her car. James is kind of like, I smoke weed. Like, I don't know anything about heroin. That's fucked up. But he's starting to come around. So, what happens if you sprinkle heroin on a bowl of weed? His brain is all full, but he hears himself say, yeah, I could go to Reno with you. She's like, that's your response to that? To everything I just told you? He's like, I don't know. She laughs. All right, she says, yeah, Bert, let's go to Reno. But James H., I want you to tell me who you are, too. Your turn. Sharon's fair. Maria disappears into the bathroom for 5 minutes. Then, they finish the shitty coffee and bail. The first thing they do in the car is to drive through a coffee place so Maria can get real coffee. It's a little drive-through coffee hut by the highway, and she kind of gets mad when there are no bagels. When James doesn't get any coffee, she's like, oh, do you want some downers instead? Reaches over to pop open the glove box and gestures at a blue striped athletic sock rolled up in another sock and tucked under some maps and a literal pair of raggedy gloves with the fingertips cut off. He's like, really? That's where you keep your heroin? In a sock in the glove box? Then they're on Route 80 and he's kind of like, still mostly wrapping his head around the stuff Maria told him back in the apartment, trying to figure out how to talk about himself in a similar way. They just had a really fascinating and literary conversation. Like insightful and wise and just all the things. You know, James was like, how can I do that too? Because I want to be wise. Like Maria. Mumbling. I mean, he thinks, what the fuck is my deal? I'm a dumbass stoner who's fucking shitty at being in relationships too, only I'm not breaking up with my girlfriend. But also, this overwhelmed feeling is dissolving into a feeling of like coming down and feeling kind of excited. He hasn't smoked since before they ate breakfast. So Maria says, when they've been on the highway for a minute, what's your deal, James H? Ha, he says, okay, I just turned 20. I grew up in Star City, Nevada, which is a stupid fucking town and I hate it. And I've worked at Walmart since I was 16. I have a girlfriend named Nicole. She's cool, but we're kind of in a fight. I should text her. My parents live here too. I see my mom kind of a lot. I don't know. She does this like studied and intentional staring straight forward kind of thing, where it's like he can tell that she wants him to talk about gender stuff or whatever, but he has no idea what to say. Every time it seems like he comes up with something concrete to mention, like masturbation or sex or fantasies or finding himself crying in the boys' bathroom line at camp when he was 8. It seems like there are 8 or 12 things to say about it, and all of them are important, and since he can't pick one, he doesn't say any of them. Sex with Nicole, the dress in his closet, stupid internet porn. Is now the time to explore whether smoking hella weed is a cover story for whatever the fuck it's a cover story for? Fuck all that. And like, how much does this relate to the stuff Nicole always says about how she wishes he would just make a decision? It's all too connected to even start to pick apart to talk about. He draws a line in the dust on the dashboard, right next to the air vent, exhales, sees that his skinny, pale fingers are shaking, and breathes it in. But James is like, no way. That breath he just took was for saying something real, and stupid left-wing radio can't take that away from him. Instead of letting that breath go, the radio is on, in case that's clear. Instead of letting that breath go, he talks loud over the radio. It became clear that the radio was on. He's like, do you know what autogynephilia is? Maria does like a cross between an exhalation and an ooh. Like, oh, that is a shame. But what she says is, yes, I know about that. Okay, he says, well, sometimes I think I like have autogynephilia, or am an autogynephiliac, if that's a thing. There's this long, tense silence, and James wants to get his weed out of his messenger bag and just smoke right up, right now. But you can't just change the subject like that. The silence goes on for a really long time, but probably not like that long, and then Maria laughs, like pretty hard. James is like, are you fucking kidding me? But he doesn't say it out loud. Maria's like, yeah, I know about that. What do you mean when you say you are an autogynephile? I don't know, he says, feeling immediately cornered and angry, which might be kind of weird. Like she did just correct him, kind of subtly, but who cares? It's more than that. The shit is not really funny though, and it's ruining his life. So he's like, I don't know, like into girls and stuff, but I guess like Mostly what I'm turned on by is being a girl. Like, not just being a girl, but like, it's complicated. He realizes he's angry, glaring out the window, lighting cactuses on fire with the rage in his squinty-eyed fury or whatever. Maria's like, can I tell you a story about autogynephilia, James H? Man, I picked really fucking intense parts to read. I'm read another part that's less intense, or differently intense. This is are we good for time? Should I just read for as long as I can still read? This is our introduction to James at the beginning of the second half of the book. Star City, Nevada is fucking bullshit. James grew up in the worst fucking town, and he still lives here, and he's probably going to die here. It's stupid. It was a boomtown in the late 1800s, all beefy cowboys and ladies of the night or whatever, and then everybody realized there was no fucking gold here and left for California. Then, nothing happened here for 100 years. It was just a shitty little stream dribbling down between two shitty little mountains until sometime around when he was born in the mid-90s, when the Walmart Corporation saw an opportunity for brand infiltration and blew a hole in the side of one of the mountains and put a little bridge across the middle of the parking lot so the stream could run through the middle and differentiate the Star City Walmart from every other Walmart in the country that doesn't have a stupid fucking stream running through it. He actually kind of likes the stream. As soon as there was a Walmart in Star City, the people who got jobs at the Walmart needed places to live, so they built these shitty condos down the length of the stream, and then, when all the waterfront property was taken up, they started paving streets away from the stream until they practically almost had a fucking town here. There's a truck stop out toward Route 80 and a couple stores that aren't Walmart, a shitty little florist, a shitty kind of big garage. But mostly, since Walmart sells everything every other shitty little store would sell anyway, this town's like, there's a mountain with a Walmart on it. Then, there are a bunch of stupid buildings on the hill spread out beneath it. Then there are some more houses around where the ground flattens out. There's a steep road that goes straight down the hill and a less steep road that swerves around the long way down the hill. And last year, they put in a GameStop and a Subway and 6 empty stores and a strip mall between the highway and the Walmart. But mostly, what they have is dirt and dust and nothing and majestic boring vistas and bored asshole teenagers and stars. The name of the shitty little town makes it sound like celebrities would vacation here or something, like in a dumb cop show from the 70s or a two-dimensional stage set from an old black and white movie. But really, the only reason to name the shitty town Star City is that at night, there are so many fucking stars above it, as long as you are facing away from the Walmart. That is the big picture. That's Star City from above, the establishing shot, how it looks from the outside. Not that James would know. The furthest outside Star City he's ever been is Reno, like 4 times. If you're from Reno, Star City probably looks like some debris and nothing next to a mountain, but if you grew up here, it's probably because your parents moved here to work at the new Walmart when it opened because there were no fucking jobs anywhere in Nevada in the mid-90s. Or something, unless you wanted to deal blackjack in Reno, but neither of James's parents wanted to work in a casino, whatever. Who cares? James grew up here and it is stupid. Fuck Star City. The small picture, the tight shot, the close-up, is that James is stoned as hell, reclined in the flimsy plastic tub with the black grout, or whatever the fuck it is called, the moldy stuff that seals the tub to the floor on the wall. He is hotboxing the bathroom of his apartment, halfway down the hill from the Walmart. Right now, he is too stoned to tell if the water is hot or cold. It is probably lukewarm. Who knows? He sits up and looks at the mirror and can't see anything because there's so much smoke in here, and also because that shit is all fogged up from how hot the bathwater was some impossible-to-know amount of time ago. He's thinking about how much he hates Star City and why it produces such apathetic and useless fucks. Figure 1, James. Figure 2, Nicole. But mostly, he's just stoned and spacing out. He keeps coming back to how cheap this bathroom feels. This town sprung up out of nowhere and they built these shitty apartments out of bullshit, but it's weird how even though he feels numb about pretty much everything else in his life, he can't quite get accustomed to a shitty apartment. The material of the tub against his bony ass feels like you could get up and punch through it. James smokes weed specifically so he can think about his ass against this bathtub and not about the fact that his girlfriend Nicole left an hour ago, stormed out in an angry huff. He's in the bathtub because on some level he knew that if he hadn't given himself a project immediately, he would have followed her out of the apartment, out into the parking lot, and made amends, apologized, patched things up. But she's right to be mad. There's something wrong with him. He has no idea what the fuck it is, but he does need to figure it out if he's ever going to have a normal human relationship. So he was like, well, I'll hotbox my bathroom and think about it. He's working on it. He gave himself a job. He left his phone on the bed, went into the bathroom, and blocked the crack at the bottom of the door with a towel, an old habit from getting high at his mom's house when he was 14 that he didn't even realize he didn't need to do anymore. He made sure he had, at some point, accidentally put the batteries back into the smoke detector, ran a bath, and blazed the shit out of $10 or $20 worth of weed. He even used the bong, not one of the pipes. Smoke the buds, no shake. The plan was to smoke until there was no air left in the bathroom. To smoke until he could see through time. To smoke until he figured his shit out. And he is figuring his shit out. Everybody knows that smoking weed is hardly the path to self-knowledge or anything. It is probably the path away from self-knowledge, unless self-knowledge is like thinking about establishing shots in Stanley Kubrick movies. It is not. But the shit is seriously better for figuring out his shit than sitting on the couch with Nicole, again, watching some dumb movie she wants to watch because all the movies James likes are creepy or gross or impenetrable or whatever. He should have brought his iPod speakers in here or something. Even with smoke, instead of air in here, it feels shitty to think about this stuff. Fuck feelings.